At Red Cross, we feel it's better to not get hurt than it is to have to treat someone who does get hurt. So the first thing we try and do is make sure that people don't get hurt to begin with, and then you don't have to worry about treating an injury or something like that afterwards. So that's going to be a lot of what I'm going to be talking about, is how to avoid getting hurt to begin with. But if someone does make a mistake and does get hurt, then I'll show you some things that you can do to help someone out in the meantime.
Keeping our children safe is not simply the responsibility of their individual families. It is also the responsibility of our schools and our community. This presentation will demonstrate how a community organization can be involved in the classroom to help students learn more about safety. Both children and adults will also benefit from this demonstration, learning some important safety information on how they can make safe, smart choices.
Hi, I'm Trevor McLellan from the Canadian Red Cross here in London. I want to thank you for having me come here today, and I'm going to talk about first aid and safety, how to prevent injuries for yourself and others. To start off with, I want to tell you a little bit about what Red Cross does. It is a large organization that basically helps people, whether it's here in London or whether it's anywhere in the world. The Red Cross is in 175 different countries, and what we do is help people. Locally, the Red Cross provides help to people who are in need, whether it's from being burned out of a house and need a place to stay, or need a change of clothes, or need food as well. If you can't quite make it to the end of the month, we will provide a change of clothes if it's necessary, or laundry, or some food for a few days to make sure that you're going to be healthy. And we provide lots of other services, like volunteers coming today to your classroom and other classrooms, telling them how to stay safe and provide injury prevention information, as well as what to do in case someone gets hurt. So when you call 911, what's going to happen is you'll dial 911, it'll ring, the dispatcher will say, police, fire, ambulance. So you have to make a decision. What do you need? If someone gets hurt, obviously you need an ambulance. If your house is on fire, you need a fire department. And you see a burglar, you're calling the police. Fairly simple stuff. So police, fire, ambulance. In this case, we're doing first aid, so guess what? We need an ambulance. We say ambulance. They put you on hold for just a second because that dispatcher sends the call to the ambulance people. So then they'll start asking you questions, like the ones that are there. Where are you? What condition is the person in? I may not be doing these in the same order. How many people are involved? What are you doing to help them out? All that kind of stuff. The key one is, where are you? Because if you can't tell the dispatcher where you are, how do they send an ambulance there? Well, they'll do their best, but it's difficult. What they do have is basically like a call display that will give the name and address from the phone number you're calling from, but that's not always going to be accurate. If your house is burning down, you're probably not in your house calling for help. You're probably somewhere else calling for help. If you're in the park and you see someone fall off the climbers, you're probably not going to run a couple of blocks home. You may go to a payphone. Payphones don't have addresses. Your parents are driving down the highway, they see a car crash, they stop, call 911 on the cell phone. Cell phones don't have addresses. So they're still going to ask you all of this stuff. So it's not a bad idea to fill out as much as you can there. Obviously you can't fill out everything because it hasn't all happened yet. But there is information that you can. If you're at home, you're going to fill in the information for at home. Hi, my name is, that's a pretty easy one. I am at. What's your address? What's the phone number? What's the nearest cross street? Do you live at the corner of? There you go. You want to tell them that because sometimes it's not easy. This is a pretty big city and they're not always going to have the address right like that. If you say it's near, I keep using Wellington Commissioners because that's where our office is, that gives them a better idea of where they need to go. On page 13, it shows how to wear your helmet right. So when you're wearing the helmet, This one's a better example. To start off with, are you wearing it up like that to make sure that your bangs don't get all messed up? No. Are you wearing it down like this to be cool? No. You got to make sure, are you wearing it like this? No. Got to make sure it's on properly. And it shows there exactly how it has to be on properly. This one is not fitted for my head, so I'm going to switch to this one so that you can see how it's fitted properly. You got to make sure that it's on properly so that it's not back too far, it's not forward too far. It's sitting right in the middle of your head, and it's done up so that it's not really loose, so you can get maybe 2 fingers in there, but no more than that. And you got to make sure that these straps, one's in front of the ear and one's behind the ear there. It's on right. You can't move it around unless I move my head around. If I could take this off without undoing it, it's not on right. It's not going to do any good if that's the case, because it'll fall off my head. The helmet that falls off my head isn't any good, right? If you're going to wear a baseball cap underneath this? No. How many of you wear baseball caps underneath your helmets? And it's okay, I'm not judging you. If you want to do that, hey, that's fine. But you wear that baseball cap underneath there, you hit your head, it's going to hit the baseball cap, the beak there, and slide the helmet off. And then what's the next thing to hit the pavement? Your head. The helmet's going to protect the back of your neck way back here just fine, because that's where the helmet's going to end up, but it doesn't do much good up here. So you're just as well and a whole lot safer to make sure that you're wearing it just like it is here. Best thing to remember is you wear it like it came out of the box. Did it come out of the box with a baseball cap underneath it? No. Did it come out of the box with stickers all over it? No. You wear it the way it comes out of the box. You want to make sure that it has an approval in it. And it's called CSA. So when you're looking at a helmet, look for it inside there to see if you can find it. There's a little green sticker on that one that says that it's all right for using as a bike helmet. You're not using this to play hockey. You're not using this on a motorcycle. It's a bike helmet, so you're wearing it on a bike. This one, same thing. Where is it on this guy? It's kind of hard to see. It's underneath here. There's a little white sticker on there that has the little CSA thing. This is a bike helmet as well, all right? In here, and I want you to have a look quickly, it's a little activity on page 6. And it's how do I cycle? And I want you to go through this and just check mark yes, no, or sometimes. This is going to give you an idea of how you cycle. And we're not expecting perfection from people, but the closer to perfect you are, the safer you're going to be, all right? I'm going to touch briefly on water safety. This is another one. Thanks. This is another one that isn't terribly timely right now. You can do the activities at your own leisure whenever you wish, but there are a few things I want to talk about with water safety. Key things. What can you think of that are important water safety rules? The big one that I don't think anyone said was never swim alone. For instance, if you're at the beach, make sure your parents are watching you. Make sure you're watching brothers, sisters, friends, whatever happen to be around, to make sure that they stay all right. If there's a problem, you get someone to help them out. You're not going to go running into the water to save them. You're going to let people who know exactly what they're doing. But you can certainly alert the lifeguards, hey, there's a problem out there, and they'll look after it. So I'll let you go through this one on your own. There's information in here, more activities and so on. There's also another questionnaire sort of thing, not a test, but it's called a test at the back. Feel free to do that as well. And if you want to color in everything and do the activities, great, go for it. The important stuff that we have, obviously, are the little things like Band-Aids and stuff like that, because most people, that's what they need. They trip and fall, they scrape their hand a little bit, or their knee or whatever. They just need a Band-Aid. when you're dealing with stuff like that, pretty simple. Everyone probably knows how to put a Band-Aid on. So that's one thing we keep tons of. We got stacks and stacks of Band-Aids and so on in here. Other thing we have is soap and water. You don't want to use things like alcohol and stuff like that on a cut. Has anyone ever had that? Their mom has got the rubbing alcohol and put it on. Yeah. How'd that feel?
Oh, stop.
It hurt. Oh. It kind of hurts. Or stings. It's not the best thing. Soap and water does the same thing, and guess what? It doesn't hurt. So when we're out there working with people, we use a spray bottle with soap and water in it. That way they don't get hurt. It doesn't hurt any more than it already did. Other things we have are triangular bandages, and these ones are done up. I'm not going to open it because it's clean, but I'll show you some that are. Other things we have are things like tensor bandages for people who've sprained their ankles or wrists and stuff like that. Tons of gauze for bigger cuts and so on to make sure that it stays in place. And the last kind of important thing is in here. This is a film thing, not that that has anything to do with anything, but inside, rubber gloves. We always have these on when we're dealing with someone who is bleeding especially, because we don't want their blood on our hands. It's gross. So we just assume rather have something between us and them so that we don't have to worry about it. And I'll leave this out afterwards, so if there's anything else you want to have a look inside here, you may. What we're going to do now is I think we're going to have to rework a little bit, and I'm going to go over a few activities with you. The triangular bandage has 2 corners and a point here, okay? We're going to remember that point. You're aiming that point to the joint that's hurt, okay? Elbow being the joint that's hurt. So, easy way to remember it is point to the joint. Okay. Then, you're bringing this part underneath your arm here. Now you can move that hand up like this, and the other part up like that. And we tie it at the back here. Nice and tight. How do we look? And if she's going to be moving around a lot, the other thing you can do, and people like to do this, is take another one. There we go. Now she's not going anywhere. Tie it tighter. And now what you can do is call for help, call a parent, or call a teacher if you're at school to have them look after it. So the idea is to think first before you do things. You're always thinking first before you get on your bike. Thinking, okay, I got to put my helmet on. Is it on right? Thinking when you're going down the street, stuff like that. You're thinking when you're near the water, making sure there's people around. You think first before you cross the street. There's all sorts of things. You think to put your seatbelt on when you're in a car. These are all things you choose to do. And they're all things that you choose to do to remain safer than you would be if you didn't have the equipment on or weren't wearing it properly. So the choice is entirely yours. No one can force you to do anything, but bear in mind, if you don't do things like wear a helmet or wear a seat belt and stuff like that, the chances of you getting seriously hurt are far greater. And the last thing you want to do is get hurt.